let's see. 1, 2, check, check, check. Hello, hello. Testing. Not going yet. Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, check. Okay, check. Cool. Hello. We're in.
Awesome.
Cool. What's up, man?
Hey, been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So lots of stuff.
I know.
I know. How are things with you? How's the move going?
Slow, but it's
yeah.
Okay. We're just waiting for the city, so they have to go and check out the place, do an initial inspection. They have to send us revisions on the architectural plans and, you know, all that stuff. So because of that, we're just kind of waiting until we hear from them. Yeah. And then we can kind of move forward. So, yeah. But it was nice.
She dropped. Carissa, where did you go? Oh no, I'm by myself. Okay, so while she's trying to come back on, I'm sure she's trying to come back on. But if you're new to my channel, relatively, Carissa is my accountability partner. We have been doing check-ins. Oh, there
Sorry.
she is. It's all good.
My laptop just went to sleep suddenly. My laptop is almost done. It's like gonna die soon, but just trying to make it work.
Yeah. Is there feedback? Can you hear feedback through the mic?
No, I can't.
Okay, that's cool. So so is like everything else on schedule though?
To be honest, no. But it's just one of those things where I'm just kind of going with the flow, because if I try and put a deadline on it, or if I put any kind of pressure on the situation, it's just going to stress us out more than anything. So we're just kind of trying to be active, but not trying to like really strictly follow some kind of deadline, you know?
Yeah. I mean, especially when it comes to things that are out of your control. Yeah. There's like no point in stressing.
Yeah, exactly. So it got stressful for a moment there, though. I mean, it always will, just because it takes money. So we're always wondering how we're going to come up with the money to do the renovations and how to pay for all the permit fees and, you know, that type of thing. But you can only do so much, you know, and then after that, it's just either you can or you can't. And then that's it. You know?
Yeah. Really quick, Tamara Pickens in the comments says, "Hey y'all, I'm sneaking at work. Hope y'all are well." Hi Tamara, how are you?
Fix this really quick. But yeah, other than that, it's going relatively smoothly. I mean, the best that it could. It's kind of, you know, it's working. And if all goes well, my contractor kind of put a timeline together for us so we could figure out exactly when things are going to be done. And it looks like it will be done by the end of the year this year. So
oh, good.
It's just a matter of when exactly is when we don't know. But my tentative plan of opening in January looks like it's still possible. So it's good.
Yeah, good. Well, that's good. I'm really excited. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Save the date. January 7th is the tentative grand opening date.
January 7th. Got it. Cool.
Let's see. I'm just writing down. Yeah. So, I mean, aside from Ninong's, I'm doing a lot of shifting. which is, oops, the second, not the third. I'm doing a lot of shifting, which is cool. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm actually thinking about starting a podcast next week.
Yeah?
Yeah. And we'll see. We'll see. But you know how we were talking about Anchor like months ago? I haven't used it since I left the country. And ever since I've come back, I haven't used it, but it's there, and it's just always in the back of my mind. It's just one of those things that I always want to try and start using again. So I told myself, even if I don't get to it, I told myself next week, but even if I don't get to it, definitely by January of next year, I'm going to like do it weekly, like once a week, and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's so funny. We're always on the same wavelength, I swear. Because ironically, I uploaded my like next episode of my podcast yesterday for the first time,
Nice.
like forever. I think the last episode I uploaded was like back in August. And then yesterday I was like, dude, I have to, it's just been sitting there. There's no excuse, the whole thing. So, yeah. And like, the reason why, I mean, like you, it's always in the back of my head. But I follow them on Twitter, and I follow other like tech headlines and stuff like that. And just like the growth that I feel that the platform itself is experiencing, and then like other creators on the platform, it hasn't died down. It's only grown and grown and grown. And Gary Vee continues to talk about Anchor and podcasts and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know. Like if I don't keep on it, in 6 months, I will regret it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have more knowledge about podcasts than I do. I honestly don't. And I haven't even found, to be honest, I haven't even found a podcast that has really like pulled me in where I want to, I'm like sitting at the edge of my seat waiting for them to come out with a new one. I haven't found one yet, but that's why I kind of feel like at least what I have to offer is not out there in the podcast world yet, or at least my perspective on it and how I'm thinking about executing it. And so I think that that's why I just kind of feel motivated. And I've told you this so many times, video is just not my thing. Just because of the editing. I don't mind being on camera anymore. It's not even that. It's just more about having to take that extra time. And with a podcast, it's so much easier for me to cut and post. I just feel like it's going to be more of a natural thing for me compared to video. So,
yeah, man, I mean, it's not that I hate editing. I love editing, but I hate the amount of time that it takes for sure. And I underestimate it every time. I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally crunch out 2 vlogs today. No.
Yeah, and it's tiring. I feel like one video, you're like, oh, okay, I'm done.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's what it is. It's like I totally can crunch out. I could probably crunch out like 3 vlogs in a day, but because of how much energy it takes to do one, like after I finish the one, I'm like, done for the day.
Yep, I know.
So yeah, but I think especially with what you have to talk about and what we even talk about, like if our accountability meetings are any indication of what you would be talking about, 100%, I think people would subscribe. I mean, you know, it's like I find our conversations helpful every time. So
yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. Did you know that you could go live with 2 people on Instagram now?
I saw that and I thought of you immediately. I was like, oh, we should try that one time.
You were the first person I thought of.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Live Instagram. Yeah, we should do that. I saw it, I think it was last week when they posted the notification, and I immediately thought, oh, we definitely need to do this.
Well, what we can do is, because these are like truly our accountability meetings. We're catching up, we're checking in, but maybe for Instagram, because if it's live, it ends up disappearing, right? So maybe, maybe it's like a 10-minute, like specifically about a topic, and we chime in from our perspectives about something.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. We should definitely test it out.
Sorry, I'm posting on Instagram right now.
Tamara, really quick, is saying Anchor B email trolling you too. Yeah, they send out a ton of emails, and then like I have two because I have one for HeatherJustCreate and then one for Sharespark TV, which is the it's basically just the audio from the shows, and so I'm getting like double emails from them. She says, I have it installed and they email you if you haven't made an episode lately. Yeah, they email you even if you have made an episode. So yeah, Tamara, get yours started. You've been a loyal follower for a long time, so I'm sure Chris and I would check it out. I'd love to check it out. I don't even know what it would be on. I can't remember what, because you're an entrepreneur too.
Yeah,
I forgot.
He is.
Yeah, I forgot what it is that you sell or what your service is.
So on, we should try it one week and see if we could do like a, I don't know, like a Q&A or I don't know, just something a little more interactive. That would be cool. Yeah,
definitely down. Well, we try it next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me see. What else is going on with me? I'm going to be in Long Beach.
Oh, cool. When?
On the 12th. I'm going for Creative Cartel, and we're doing that patchwork event again in your neighborhood.
The 12th. Okay, cool. I think you can make it.
Yeah. So I'll be there from, I think, 10 to 5, 10 to 4, something like that.
Okay, this time I'll bring money because I didn't realize it was going to be this whole thing.
Yeah. I'm excited for this one because, I mean, I know it's going to be colder. Hopefully it doesn't rain. But I think it's going to be an even better one because it's right before the holidays. So usually that just means more people just kind of turn out and there's more vendors usually. So I'm excited to do that.
Cool. Okay, November 12th. Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with me. I'm trying to, it's once again, update, like the only thing I really have to say with the other stuff is I'm just trying to, focus more on the blog, which is what I say every time, but I still don't do it. But I'm trying. But other than that, there's nothing really else going on. Oh, actually, there is something going on.
Oh, what?
So I'm about to do a year in review slash goal setting series on my blog in 2 weeks. So if there's anything that you or any of your subscribers want me to cover, I'm open to suggestions. I have ideas, but I obviously love to hear some insights so that I can do some stuff that pertains to what people actually need instead of
guessing. I think that's a great idea. I should probably do something like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what I would say, okay, so because I recall starting the accountability meetings around December.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because I went to the Philippines in January, remember? And we were already Yep.
So maybe you could talk about like how it's been.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, man, instrumental.
Yeah.
Sure. I wonder if I still have that piece of paper where I wrote down the goals. That's funny. Because I know I'm nowhere. I was convinced I was going to be at 1 million subscribers.
Oh, I do remember that was one of the things that we were talking about. You were talking about we were trying to measure your growth.
Yeah, like with the numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened this year that I didn't even like I won in so many other ways.
Yeah, definitely.
But oh, dude, that's a great idea. Year in review. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
When are you gonna post yours?
Well, I'm gonna start the series in 2 weeks, and it's gonna go for 2 weeks. So it'll be the first week is gonna be a year in review. So it'll be about 2017, and then the next series, the week after, will be goal setting for the next year. Just because even though we still need to focus because there is still 2 months in 2018, planning for next year is really, really important, and having, letting it kind of marinate instead of going on December 31st or January 1st, you're sitting down there and you're like, okay, let me just churn out some goals. It doesn't work, like you got to let it kind of marinate in your mind a little bit. And so I decided that I would start talking about it now, but also emphasize the importance of don't let the next 2 months go to waste either, like keep pushing to achieve more goals this year, but start thinking about next year too.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Yeah. I have to do that just because, like, especially in the past, like, month, I feel like I've kind of been in limbo, which is great. It's like there's so many good things, but I also feel like just like in this stasis of like being pulled in a million directions and not really, just kind of like trying to stay afloat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's normal. That's your phase of entrepreneurship at the moment.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I had that thought yesterday because I think I've been so high and happy off of obviously being in love with Tom, being a huge part of that. But I think yesterday, I don't know what happened, but I just like got super anxious, and it hit me today that I was like, I have everything that I could ever want in life, like literally everything. And I still have this feeling of anxiety. It's never going to go away. Like even if, everything was going absolutely perfect, like I have no complaints, like I can't imagine it getting better than this. I know it will in like other ways, but like it's just so good. But I still am always going to have this. It's just who I am. It's just, like you said, the cycles that I go through. So
yeah. And I think entrepreneur or not, I think everybody kind of goes through that. It just depends on where you happen to be in life. And that always has an effect on us specifically because we have the power to control whether we want to work or not, or whether we take a break or not, or whether we do the minimum or we really push and go a step beyond, we have that control compared to someone that's employed that has to, even if they don't feel like it, they have to continue to push toward whatever the company's goals are, So it affects us, but I think it affects everyone has those moments where they're like, okay, I'm starting to feel the pressure, Yeah.
Yeah. One, like totally, I think you put it exactly, just, it's like you are 100% responsible for whether you are like going at max or not, and I think that's kind of like where I've been. Tamara says it's also a tricky time of year, planning and executing. Definitely.
It is.
It's like holidays, people are already like planning stuff. It's like, it's just, yeah.
Funny because I met up with one of the girls that I met at your progress party.
Oh, who?
Allison.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So we had coffee the other day, and I was with her and Katie, my assistant, and we were just sitting there for like an hour and a half just talking, and so she was telling me her story, and I was sharing my story with her and everything, and I was telling her, though, that it's a tricky time, but when you're an entrepreneur, you have a choice to make, because you can either turn it off and just go, you know, I'm on holiday mode. I'm done. I'm not going to do anything until the next year. You have the luxury of making that decision, whatever be the consequence for you. You know, you have the luxury of making that decision. But I was telling her, I encouraged her to not do that. And I encouraged myself to not do that, because as an entrepreneur, every day counts, you know, and even if you were part-time for the next 2 months and not going at max, to still do things is really important, because if you stop, so does your business. And if that's the case, imagine how many other entrepreneurs that are in your field are stopping for the holidays, yet you keep going.
Exactly. And that's how I'll always see it. That's why I love weekends, because I mean, not lately, it's been hard because now I have to factor in Tom's schedule, who, you know, his days off are the weekends. But like, that's how I always felt about weekends and holidays, was that this is your chance to get ahead, because everyone else is going to chill and you know it.
Yeah. And it's the perfect opportunity as an entrepreneur to go 2 steps ahead of everyone else. And when you think about it, that's what it is. It's a race. Yep. To get to where you want to be, you know. So if you keep chugging at it, even if it's just a little thing here and there, it doesn't have to be big momentous things that you're doing, but even if you chug away at the few tiny minuscule things, it's going to make a big difference when you get to like January, when you're ready to start going, you know.
Yeah. And so that's what I actually spent like the past 2 weeks doing, is kind of, because you know those like clip videos I've been making.
Yeah, I've been. Those are good.
Yeah, I've been stacking them up. So I just have like a whole freaking bank ready to go. And it's great, because now I'm at the point where I just have to schedule that ish and then not have to think about it and just like let it do its thing.
I love that. It's kind of like people think that you're not doing anything and you're kind of silent, yet you are prepping for like something really good to happen, so that you don't have to stress about it later, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, that's what's cool about having an online business, or like, you know, for me being a content creator, is like, so people could think you're, you know, it goes both ways. Like if you are silent, you become irrelevant. People just forget. But then as long as your accounts are crushing out content every day, people think that you're active, even though it's like, yeah, dude, it's like, I scheduled that a week ago. But you know, it's not that I'm going to chill. It's that now I can use that time to do other things.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, for me, that's kind of where I am. I think obviously the whole Tom thing is just not something that I planned for, or, you know, I didn't realize how much it was going to change my life. And there was a lot of times, and he's great, because like he's the first person that I could be like completely open with, and he just like totally understands me. But like one of my biggest worries was like, I didn't realize how lonely I was until I met him. And then I just was like, it's like I had to kind of like rejuvenate from the past year and a half of just like isolation, you know? And he just was making me feel so everything positive, you know, like empowered, validated, appreciated. And yeah, I didn't need those things. I know a lot of my subscribers are like, you don't need validation, you know. I don't. Obviously, I got this far, but like it still was almost like healing for my soul that I didn't realize I needed, which has allowed me to see things differently. I just have a different perspective. I think it's given me a lot of insight, and I learn things from him and our relationship every day. So, but I think now it's not a bad thing, but I think the challenge is like trying to find the balance, because what I've realized is like, you know, I have all this time when he's at work, and it's perfect, because it's back to like how it was. I'm alone. I got to do my stuff. I got to do my thing. But when he comes home, it's like, I don't want to do anything but just like, you know, hang out with him. That's
Yeah.
the problem, because my days used to be like, I didn't even have a sleep schedule. It's just like 24/7, which isn't, you know, that's not practical. But I think with having him kind of, remember that schedule I've always tried to create for myself that never happened? With his like work schedule, I think that's what's going to force it, is like, okay, bedtime is at this time, no more insomnia. Like, you need to figure it out. You wake up at this time. And that's kind of helping me create a routine.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that I'm worried about is like that I'm here in Indio and not in Long Beach,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't that, you know, it's not that big of a deal, because if like I can combine everything I was doing in Long Beach into a weekend or a day, you know, and then I can just go and take care of all that stuff. But, you know, I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking about.
I get you.
Yeah.
Well, I am really happy for you. I've been waiting to say it because we haven't talked since.
I know, crazy.
Girl, I know. We're all just waiting.
I know, that's so funny, because like I had no idea.
Of course he didn't. How could you? I don't know. It's for me, it's just one of those things where it's like when that happens, it's when you're least looking for it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what happened with me and Charlie. I was like, I'd known him for how long, and I was not interested. I didn't even find him attractive at the time. We were just friends, and we were just doing our thing. We're dancing, and we're having fun, and whatever. And the next thing you know, I wake up one day, and I'm like, you know, it was. And then from there, it was just he felt the same way. One of us just had to have the balls to say something, and when that happened, it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, seriously. Like that's totally how it happened with us. Like seriously, for 2 months, I've never been so strict about not crossing a line. Yeah. I will fully admit that. Like I have never, but with him, it's just, I really admired him so much on so many levels that I was like, I respect him to not ever add this dynamic of awkwardness or expectation and just like weirdness. So like, and you know, that's kind of how he felt the same way. So we just never crossed it. And then one night he's the one who had the balls and like asked like, you know, so what's up with us, kind of thing. And then like you said, it just like, I know it was great that we had that 2 months of building that friendship and like, you know, taking care of all the Sharespark stuff. So that way, when we did talk about like feelings, it just all fell into place.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're able to really have that selfless friendship first, always just makes it better. You know, because you actually genuinely care about the well-being of that person, not just their well-being with you. You know, like you care about what happens to them after, you care about their well-being over yours a lot of times too. You know, that idea of selflessness starts to become involuntary, and it just goes. You're like, I just want him or her to be happy. And that's really what you truly, truly, honestly care about.
And that's weird. I will tell you, like, part of the reason why, like, being lonely sucks, but one of the things I liked about it was this selfishness of like not having to care about anybody. You know, it's like I didn't want to, because that's risk. You know, it's like I don't want to have to factor in somebody else's feelings. I just don't want that. I didn't want that. But now that I'm just so thankful that I did my first year and a half and went through that whole thing, because now I appreciate what I have and what, you know, it's a new side of me that I'm discovering is that selflessness, not the selfish side. It's like, I don't know, I think it's brought about this new inspiration, this new creativity, and just, you know, this new appreciation for even my own anxiety and how I deal with it is like, you know, I don't know, it's cool. And it's so funny because all I've been doing to my friends is apologizing, saying I'm sorry for all the crap and whining and like all the guy crap I was complaining about for like the past 4 years. Like, you guys are awesome friends. But yeah, like 100%, because all my friends, especially my girlfriends, all you guys are in relationships, and how many times did I tell, like, I don't need that, like,
yeah,
you know, that's not that, like, what are you getting that I'm not? Da, da, da. Yeah, there's a lot, so I get it.
Yeah, we'll have to have a separate conversation about all this more in depth later.
Yeah, I know. And I feel so bad because, like, you know, Camille's like right here and I haven't visited her.
It's okay. When you're like in the beginning stages of love, you should embrace it, and like that's all you want to do all the time is just spend as much time with that person as possible. And while you have that luxury, you should do it. So, you know.
Yeah, so I did. But now that it's no limit November, I'm going to go crazy. It's just like, and I think a reason why I'm doing that is because for December, like, it's kind of it's kind of like both of what you just said. Like, I want work to be going, but I also want to spend the time that I've freed up experiencing holidays with someone that I love.
Yeah.
You know, so
Definitely. It's always, especially the month of December, it's always that balancing act, you know, because for me, Christmas is my favorite holiday because growing up, it was the most special one. My mom had a thing for like always wanting to give. Like she loved giving presents. She loved hosting parties. And so when it comes down to it, I just want to do the same thing because it's special to me. So thinking about it in that way, also in the past, 3 or 4 years, now that I'm truly self-employed, I haven't gotten a job in 4 years to supplement my income. This is the first time where I've had to really truly balance it out, because whenever I ran out of money, I would just say, okay, I'll just get a job, but luckily I'm blessed enough to not have had to do that in the last 4 years. So every year I kind of learn a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm willing to do and this is what I'm not willing to do during that time, because I want to be able to, we used to be open on Christmas Day.
Wow.
And I'm not willing to do that anymore, so I just said, okay, we're just going to take a loss, and these are the days that we're going to be closed, because I'm a person too, and I want to spend time with my family or my friends or whoever it is that I want to spend time with, and I'll just take a loss on that. But that means the week or leading up to Christmas, I'm like crazy, Yeah. But I do that to myself because on those days, I want to be able to spend time with them. So it's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's what's cool about year 2 of entrepreneurship is like the first year I had no idea what I was doing. And like one thing, I spent Christmas alone last year. And obviously Tom was like, there's no way in hell I'm letting that happen. So like it's a very unique experience to go through a calendar year again, like knowing what I know and, having that experience under my belt and just like knowing what to expect this time and trying to factor that in. That's why I really appreciate your experience, because, that's what Gary preaches all the time is patience. Like, it's just not going to happen overnight, period.
Yeah. And if it does, it's not going to last.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I remember that time vividly, like when the holidays rolled around and then you posted that video. I just remember thinking in my head the same thing. I'm like, why would she do that? Like, why would she go back home? Like, why wouldn't she call someone? Why didn't she was right there. Like, why didn't she call me? Why didn't she call Natan? Why didn't she call any of her other friends? Anybody. Because why would she do that? And then, you know, now it's what a difference a year can do. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy because it didn't even occur to me to call anybody else. I was just like, I'm going home and I'm going to keep working. Like,
yeah.
And that was fine. Like, I have no regrets. And
yeah.
obviously I grew from that. But, and you know, it's that new appreciation for, like, even telling my friends, like, hey, thanks for being my friend and putting up with me. Because, like, now it's just, I love where I'm at kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tamara says, good topic. How far into the holiday season should I work? Like, do you take into account your clients' holidays too?
That is a good question. I don't know if you have a response to this, but my advice is just to go with what you feel. You know, when you have that time, or if you don't have time, really carve out an hour to just go, okay, what do I want to do? What do I feel like doing this year? Because it doesn't have to be the same every time. For me personally, because I work in the restaurant industry, we work all the way up until like the day before, or December 23rd, you know? So in our industry, I have to, because otherwise Christmas orders just won't happen because we're going to be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So think about, take into account your industry. For some people, like if you're in the stationery industry, like Creative Cartel is, there's shipping dates that are deadlines. So people aren't going to buy Christmas cards past probably December 10th, you know. So after that, you can kind of say, okay, I'm kind of done. I'll just prepare for next year. So just think about your industry, what it is you're selling, whether it's a service or a product based business, and then just really carve out that time and just kind of say, what am I willing to do and not willing to do? And just stick to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it really is industry specific, because I can even use my own businesses as an example where for like Sharespark, for example, Tom and I decided not to do a Sharespark TV episode on Tuesday just because it was Halloween. And we figured, who's going to be home at 7 o'clock? Like, everyone's going to be trick-or-treating or giving out candy and probably not wanting to hear something about digital literacy. So, you know, we decided to just like cancel the show for that day. But for my vlog, for example, I always notice a spike when it is holiday season, because, or like during any kind of holiday or even the weekends, because people have free time.
Yep.
Like, you know, Christmas break, winter break, spring break. That's when people are on YouTube, because they're not at work, you know, they're not doing anything, or maybe they're traveling and they're waiting for their like airplane, you know, or they're at the airport or whatever. And
yeah, so I binge watched a lot of YouTube while I was traveling. So
yeah, so that's why, like, in terms of the vlog, I try to put out content when I know people are going to be picking up their phones more often.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So okay, why don't we like set some goals?
Yes.
So that we can check in for next week.
So I'm wrapping up my real estate year, I guess, because it really slows down during the holidays for realtors, because I mean, usually it slows down anyway whenever kids are in school, because ideally families would want to do the move and stuff while a break is happening. So I'm kind of taking this opportunity to use this time as marketing time. So last week I was doing some YouTube videos on advice on selling homes, buying homes, that type of thing. I give out calendars at the end of every year with my face on it. So we're going to be mailing those out to all of the past clients that we have, that type of thing. So next week is kind of going to be the wrap up of that and trying to get the calendars out sometime this month, since, you know, I don't want things to get shuffled with the Christmas cards and all of that. And then I started up Good Bad Foodie again, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, cool.
So I figured the holidays are the perfect time to start doing food tutorials and start the cooking show back up. So I filmed last week. I'm going to be editing tonight and posting tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm starting to kind of put my schedule together for it. And I kind of got stuck with that because I wasn't sure how I wanted to execute the videos, just because food, there's so many ways to do it, you know, I don't know. And I just couldn't figure it out. And even till now, I don't know what my style is going to be, but I just figured the only way I'm going to figure that out is if I keep making them.
Yep.
So I just said, screw it. I'm just going to start doing it again. And so that's going to start. I'm going to do 2 a month, whether that's every other week or back to back. I'm not sure, but I'm going to start with 2 a month, and then kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, that's a conversation I have to have with Tom because like we're supposed to do recorded content for Sharespark TV, and we have so many good ideas, and I know whatever we make is going to be awesome, but like we just have not been able to like set aside the time for it because it's like, well, you know, I don't know. It's like it's the beginning times, you know, we're really excited to just hang out and not like, hey, let's sit down and do Sharespark stuff. And it's funny because before that would be our excuse to hang out with each other was like, let's do Sharespark stuff. But now we realize that, you know, it was just an excuse. I mean, we love Sharespark and Sharespark TV and all that, but like I want us to get onto some schedule like that where it's like, you know, I don't know what the number would be, but X number of times a week or a month we would have something recorded and put out, because I really like the live show, but what I've been noticing is that, you know, if no one tunes in, there's really no point in doing a live show.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of Tom's videos, but I think they're great.
Yeah, they're awesome. I've watched a couple, and I like his style.
Right? I know.
Has a natural style to it, and it just seems so effortless. I like his videos a lot. They're great.
I know. And so I want to capitalize on that, and then also, you know, what I bring to the table and see what we create. And I think that would add a dynamic to Sharespark TV that we just haven't even like played around with yet.
Yeah.
But it's just doing it.
Yeah. And it's just brainstorming, you know, you'll get there. I do agree though, because I've been wanting to, I think I've only tuned in live 2 times, honestly. Not for any reason except timing, and then I honestly forget.
Yeah.
So there's maybe, like you said, if it's gonna be a live show, like how can you kind of capitalize on the live, and then if you're gonna do recorded content, what's gonna be the focus of that? And yeah, because I watch them, it's just I end up watching the
replay.
The replay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing. I mean, that's my accountability thing for the week is like, I haven't promoted Sharespark TV at all, ever. And the only promotion I've done is like to my own people. And the reason is because, you know, it was a pilot. It's like I needed to test. I mean, especially back then I had just met Tom. So I needed to even test whether this was like a thing or not. You know, I have felt that we've got enough data to prove that it is a good thing, and that there are signs for success. But then we fell in love. So that kind of put brakes on everything. But this month, I've got the clips ready. I haven't sent a newsletter to my mailing list in like months. So that's one of the things that I want to do. And I have like a whole marketing plan that I'm going to execute. So hopefully that is what I'll be talking about during our, no, not hopefully. Cool. That is what I will be talking about during our next session.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. So Sharespark TV is going to be your focus going into the next week.
Yeah, totally. Sharespark. Because especially with my vlog, it's weird because now that I'm with Tom, I'm practically living with Tom. I'm still not really sure how, like, it shouldn't matter, but it is a huge difference between when people subscribe to me before and now, like, the type of content that I would be putting out. So, like, in this room, Tom and I have been trying to figure out, like, how I can create a similar vlog space where, you know, I used to be just sitting on my bed. So we were like moving stuff around because I don't want every video to have him in it. That, you know, that's what Sharespark's for.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Really quick, okay. Allison tuned in. Hi, friends. Working at home and saw that you're live. Wanted to catch you both. Hi, Allison. We were just talking about you earlier. Huh? Hello?
Okay. Yes.
What did you say?
Oh, I was just saying hi to Allison.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about her earlier. Tamara, speaking of brainstorming, how long do you guys give yourselves to make a decision about your next steps? Do you sit down and say, I'm for 2 hours, I'm going to hem and haw, and whatever I come up with will be my decision for what to do next? That's a good question.
I think your answer will be different from mine. So you go first.
How long do you give yourselves to make a decision about your next steps? Well, I have to say, it differs between whether I'm making a decision that only involves myself versus me being in like a team or a partnership, because to me, I make decisions a lot faster when I'm working with someone else. And it factors in somebody else. But when I'm working for myself, or you know, like, do I make this vlog or not? It's so just about the gut feeling. Like I don't even really make the decision consciously. It's just it makes itself. Like if I come up with an idea and I end up doing it, then it was a good idea and I decided to do it. And I know that's so not helpful, but I just know, like, just even thinking back to some vlogs I've created, like there was this one vlog I did where I was having a panic attack. And it's one of my favorite vlogs because I shot it all in one take. Like I didn't pause the camera at all because I wanted to show myself that I could put very little time into creating something awesome. But there was about a half hour before I pushed record as to whether I should film myself having a panic attack and put that out there for the entire world to see. You know, so, but then it wasn't like, okay, yes, I'm going to do that. It was just like, all of a sudden I was picking up the camera and going. And then there's ideas, you know, I have this whole freaking notebook right here of ideas that just faded, like nothing happened. So yeah, that's my thing. But usually when it involves other people, I mean, that's why having an accountability partner is so great, because there's accountability and there's like someone, there's someone that you know, you have to report to and answer to. And it's not just like, I don't know, there's no like pressure when it comes to my vlog. So
yeah.
So I think your answer is gonna be a lot more practical.
Well, I was gonna say, when I first started being in business for myself, anytime an idea would just come to my head, I would just do it. I wouldn't even think. I would just go.
Actually, I agree.
Yeah, right. That's when you're new. That's exactly what you do. You're like, oh my God, I have the best idea. I'm gonna do this right now. And then you just you go and you're like really excited about it. And then next thing you know, the idea is happening and you're getting the wheels turning and everything like that. But I think in the last 2 or 3 years, it's changed a lot for me, because now I factor in a lot of things, but mostly I factor in my emotion because I'm a very emotional person. I can cry at like the stupidest thing, or I can cry and like watching TV and I'm like the only person in the room crying. It's just, I'm a very naturally emotional person. And I realized that there are a lot of times where I make decisions, of course, based on emotion. And it was a good idea when I was really excited about it. But then when time passed, I was like, I would think to myself, it was a good idea, but I didn't think it through as well as I could. And when that happens, I look back and I'm like, I could have done that better. You know? And so now, instead of just saying, because for me, even 2 hours is not enough time to make a decision. So if something is put on my table, if I even have like any doubt of whether or not it might be a good idea, I let it simmer for a while. A good example is like moving Ninong's, moving our restaurant. It was a thought in my head the first day I started here full time, which was 4 years ago, and it's not happening until now. And I hadn't made that decision that we were gonna move until like May of this year. So it was at least 3 years of me thinking about it and going back and forth before I actually made the decision. And I think the reason why I do that is because I'm an emotional person. I need things to settle down. I need my mind to be rational. I need to be able to think objectively. And I can't do that when the great idea enters my mind because I just think it's so awesome. And, you know, I can't think clearly. So I let it kind of marinate in my mind before I even write it down, to be honest. It's just in my head and it's kind of churning away. And then if I think it actually is a good idea after a week or 2 weeks or a month, then I'll kind of put it down on paper or on Evernote or whatever, because then it becomes concrete. You know, when they say like, when you actually tell someone about it, it becomes concrete. It becomes a real thing.
Yeah, you've given it life.
Exactly. So I don't even do that until I give it like a little bit of time. And then after that, I start like listing it out and I start doing my research. And a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm a big researcher. I think it's because I have a product-based business maybe, but I always look at the possibilities. Like what will happen, or what are the possibilities of what can happen if I make this decision? And as an entrepreneur, I've learned the hard way that every decision you make, whether it's tiny or you don't think it has any value, every single decision you make will affect the outcome every single time. It's even if it's just a detour on where you're supposed to end up, like there's a consequence to every single decision you make. And so that's why I try to be rational about it and I give it time. I don't just jump into things anymore.
And I think we are so similar in that respect, where we are very emotional people. And a lot of our decisions are inspired and driven by how we feel and respond to things. And going off of what you said, I think that that through experience, I've kind of adopted something similar than that. I think I can get better in my decision making, and especially like the execution part of actually, carrying out what I decided. But I think the thing that I learned is that, like, you might have a really good idea, and it might be a really good idea, but if you don't let it simmer, like Carissa says, I find myself always underestimating the amount of time that things take. And so if I don't let it sit, for example, and I don't regret anything I've ever created, but if I don't let it sit and I just execute, say it's an idea for a vlog, that vlog will have taken me 6 hours probably to create. And that's 6 hours that is then not you know, spent on everything I had previously planned to do that day.
Yeah.
And that's where everything just gets pushed off to, you know, tomorrow and then tomorrow and then tomorrow. And then, so that's like, you know, that's why I have this, because any ideas I come up with, I just write it in here. And like, I'm like, okay, if you have time after you finish everything you said you were going to do first, then go pick up the damn notebook. But like, you know, I do put thought, like there's so much thought that goes into every decision already that I don't want to discount what I've already decided to do just because I came up with another idea.
Yeah. And I think one thing I want to add to that is I always had this, I don't know if it's just me, but I always have this like sense of urgency. Like if I think of the idea, I want to be the first, or I want to do it right away. You know, I don't want to do it when someone else thinks about it. But one thing that I've learned as an entrepreneur also is that it doesn't matter if you're the first.
Yep.
You know? What matters is if you do it correctly and you do it at the right time for your business, because there are tons of people, there are tons of products that are out there right now, and the people that are known for doing it, the people that are known for doing it aren't the ones that invented it. Smartphones, you know, watches, like planners. There's just they were never the first really, but they knew and they had a plan to execute it correctly to where you think that they were, because you hadn't heard about it beforehand.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And that's something that I learned from experience, because like you said, Carissa, my first year, it's like, it was so overwhelming just because I wanted to execute every single idea. And I spent so much time and energy trying to like, oh my God, I came up with this. Oh my God, I have to do this. Oh my God, I have to do this. And then you do it and it's like not that big of a deal. It's like, I don't know. And like, I think when it comes to the decision making, I think what could make you be a better decision maker when it comes to yourself making decisions is reflecting on the decisions that you've made. And it's like, it sounds so common sense, but seriously, like if you don't take time to actually think about like, okay, like say you do it weekly, you think about all the decisions that you made that week and think about like, okay, were they good decisions? Were they bad decisions? Could I have done things differently? What could I do better? You know, how did I respond to that? Were other people involved? You know, it's just like, maybe you don't change anything, but it's important for you to know what you are doing and how you can make it better, because then you can have conversations like what me and Carissa are having right now, where we're like, okay, yes, like this is what we've learned.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Then you'll be able to tell for yourself, like, okay, do I need 2 hours? Do I need a whole day? Do I need 2 minutes? Like, you'll know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great question. Thanks, Tamara, for all the questions.
That was a good question.
Yeah. I feel like, you know what you should do? You should download this and just make this an episode of your podcast. Right? Yeah. I can send you the file. Seriously.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It'll help me kind of, I think it's just going to be helpful to have something to steer me in the right direction, so that I just want whatever I put out to be useful. You know, I don't want it just to be babble and not, you know, just us talking about the wind. Or whatever, you know, like, oh, the weather is so great today. I want it to be straight to the point, so that there's no fluff. We just get to it, and then we move on to the next topic, or we elaborate on a really important topic or whatever it is. But I want to be able to do content that is important to people and that people will find useful. So
yeah, I love it. I'm excited for it. So I'll send you this for sure. And honestly, I think that this type of content is probably better in podcast form, because I can imagine people like listening to it, because it's, you know, it's longer form. So when they're at the gym or they're commuting, and then like what I freaking hate about Google Hangout is like how if it picks up sound on your end, it'll switch cameras and freaking, like I get dizzy staring at it.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right. So same time next week.
Yeah. I was going to say, too, I'm just going to put it out there. If you guys have any suggestions on topics that you do want me to cover in the podcast, if you're on Twitter, send it to me on Twitter or put it in the comments of this video, and then I'll take a look at it.
Oh, I didn't include your Twitter. I have your blog and YouTube in the description. But
That's fine.
yeah. Yeah. Message, just like leave a comment or whatever. And then what is your anchor or your podcast?
My anchor username is @justkissa also, or justkissa.
Okay. It's this. I just typed it in the comments. JUSTKISSA. So, all right, dude. Great chat.
Awesome.
Feeling good.
Okay, so around this time tomorrow, I will put it in my calendar. And yeah, I think this is good for the end of the year. Perfect time to start doing this again.
Woohoo! Awesome. Okay, so next Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Catch you later. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Go check out Chris's channel and all of her social stuff. And we'll catch you guys next week, 12:30 Thursday. If we're late, it's my fault. I will try not to be late. Okay. Bye, guys.